Alright, YouTube, this is Juggernaut44 coming back at you with another review. This time I'm going to review some of the work by Gregg Hurwitz. He's a crime fiction novelist that I suppose dabbles in writing graphic novel comics here and there. He's done some work for The Punisher, which I will review later, and he's done some Wolverine one-shots here and there. I liked his work, his comic book work, that is, so I picked up Foolkiller, a series that he wrote for Max. Let me begin. Okay, the first issue starts out with this lowlife who owes money to a bookie. He gives up his family to spare his own life, and basically these gangsters who are owed the money, who work for the boss, goes after his family since the lowlife gave him up, and they hurt his family, and this lowlife goes after a vigilante to try to go and get revenge on the gangsters who hurt his family. Now this vigilante is called Foolkiller. I believe this story takes place in Southern California, or maybe around the LA areas. The Foolkiller, his style of work is similar to The Punisher and arguably similar to Moon Knight, except he's a little bit more grotesque in ending his victims' lives, the criminals' lives that he goes after. I believe Moon Knight, he kind of mutilates his victims. I mean his enemies, and Punisher, he kills them. Foolkiller does both. He mutilates them and he kills them in a grotesque fashion. A lot of the stuff Foolkiller does seems kind of unnecessary to me, but I guess he's trying to send a message, so that be it. The second issue, we find out about Foolkiller's origins. I did not like Foolkiller's origins. I thought it was kind of outlandish, even for a comic book. You know, he becomes a businessman, his parents die. If you want to read more into his origins, pick up the book. I didn't really care for his origins, though. Third issue basically follows Foolkiller as he hunts down the guys responsible for going after an innocent family. And he deals with them in his Foolkiller fashion. Then we move on to the fourth issue, and basically the mob boss who's owed the money from the lowlife orders a antagonist of a villain called Sickle Moon to go after Foolkiller and the rest of the family to finish the job. Now this Sickle Moon character, he's kind of a generic crazy guy who probably knows his way around blades and guns and whatnot. I like the character. Basically, the rest of the family that hasn't been killed goes on the run, and basically it's up to Foolkiller to kind of go after the mob boss and this new antagonistic character. Issue 5, the last issue, basically sets up the story for the second part of the arc, which I'm guessing is like about maybe about 5 more issues. Overall, this book gets a 7 out of 10. It has some issues with overall story concerning Foolkiller's origins. I guess Gregg wanted to make him as interesting as possible. But he just doesn't pull it off. Foolkiller is basically a Punisher, copy, who mutilates his the criminals that he goes after. Um, if you can get this book for under $10, whether it be the various comic issues that it was collected in or the graphic novel, get it. It's a good read for under $10. Do not pay the original graphic novel price, which is $18. I didn't do it. I checked this out from the library, and I actually like the writing though. The writing's cool. Made me want to pick up Gregg Hurwitz's book. I got his first book and his last book. He's written about, I don't know, 7 books. The last book he wrote was Trust No One. Do not get this book. This book is garbage. I mean, I wouldn't say garbage. It's just not my cup of tea. It seems like some daydream that the writer thought of and wrote up, and I don't know. There's no character development. The lead character is kind of doing things that you wouldn't expect for a normal guy to do, and he's portrayed in the book as just an average, ordinary guy. I picked up the first book that Gregg Hurwitz wrote, called The Tower. This book is a little bit better. It's kind of cliched. The plot is basically The Rock meets Hannibal meets, yeah, that's probably it. It's basically that. It's a guy who escapes from a high maximum security prison, I guess, and a bounty hunter basically hunts him down. That book was okay, but it was very cliched. I'll be reviewing Gregg Hurwitz's volume on The Punisher next. I gotta let you know right now, I did like that. And this is just a review so far of the writer. Alright then.